There are things sitting quietly inside many homes that people never question. Objects that look harmless yet carry deep spiritual weight and unseen influence. Many live their daily lives unaware that certain items can open doors they never intended to open, allowing darkness to linger where peace should live. When someone who once walked in witchcraft speaks honestly about what happens behind the spiritual curtain, it forces us to confront truths we often ignore. This message is not about fear, but about awareness, authority, and the power to reclaim your space. You deserve a home filled with light, protection, and spiritual clarity, rather than confusion or hidden oppression. Today, you will hear a confession that exposes how ordinary objects can become spiritual agreements that must be broken so freedom can fully enter your life. Many people keep objects from past spiritual experiments without realizing those items still carry emotional agreements that quiet and whisper old identities and beliefs into their present life. You may look at a small charm, a book, or a decorative piece and think it is only a memory. Yet your spirit remembers the intentions connected to it. Every time your eyes rest on that object, you reopen a door to a season where confusion replaced clarity and curiosity replaced truth. Even when you believe you have moved forward, freedom begins when you recognize that healing is not only about changing your thoughts, but also about removing physical reminders that continue to pull your heart backward. An ex which understands that rituals are built on symbols and agreements, and keeping those symbols close allows the atmosphere of the past to remain active. Today is the day to stop treating those objects as harmless decorations and start seeing them as invitations that no longer deserve a place inside your sacred space. Let this moment become a turning point where courage rises stronger than nostalgia and where your desire for spiritual peace becomes louder than the voice of old curiosity. You are not dishonoring your past by releasing these items. You are honoring the growth that transformed you into a person who now seeks light instead of hidden darkness. Every object you remove becomes a declaration that your home belongs to hope, your mind belongs to clarity, and your spirit belongs to a future free from invisible chains. Imagine walking through your home and feeling a fresh atmosphere where nothing reminds you of fear, confusion, or spiritual compromise, only strength and purpose filling every corner. This act is not about fear of objects, but about understanding the power of agreement and choosing to stand in authority over everything that influences your environment. When you clear your space, you create room for new habits, peaceful thoughts, and a stronger connection with the truth that has been patiently calling you forward. Some people hesitate because they believe memories live inside those objects. Yet the truth is that your growth lives within you and cannot be lost by releasing physical reminders. Ask yourself honestly whether each item reflects the person you are becoming or the person you have already left behind through prayer, reflection, and deep personal transformation. The moment you choose to let go, you break silent agreements that once shaped your identity, and you step boldly into a new season defined by spiritual confidence. Do not wait for the perfect time, because freedom begins with one simple decision followed by consistent action that aligns your surroundings with the direction of your heart. As you remove these items, speak words of authority over your home and invite peace, clarity, and strength to replace every shadow that once lingered unnoticed. Let today be remembered as the day you reclaimed your space and closed every door that no longer deserves access to your life. Walk through your home and look closely at the images and symbols that surround you, because what you see every day slowly shapes what you feel and believe inside your spirit. Many people choose decorations based on trends or curiosity without realizing that certain visuals celebrate darkness, fear, or spiritual confusion rather than hope and life. An X which understands that symbols speak even when words are silent, and that repeated exposure to heavy imagery can influence emotions, dreams, and the overall atmosphere. You may have placed certain art on your walls thinking it was only creative expression, yet your inner peace may have quietly faded without you understanding why. The environment you create becomes a mirror that reflects either strength and clarity or tension and spiritual heaviness that lingers longer than expected. Today is your invitation to see your surroundings through fresh eyes and recognize how the images around you either uplift your soul or slowly pull it downward. There is power in intentional choices, because every picture, symbol, or decoration sends a message to your mind about what is welcome inside your sacred space. When you remove imagery that glorifies darkness, you are not rejecting creativity. You are choosing an environment that nourishes courage, peace, and emotional stability. Think about how different your home feels when light colors, inspiring messages, and peaceful visuals replace symbols that once stirred fear or confusion. The X-Witch perspective reveals that environments filled with negative symbolism often become places where anxiety grows and restful sleep becomes harder to maintain. You deserve to wake up feeling refreshed and spiritually strong rather than surrounded by silent reminders of death, despair, or hidden oppression. Transforming your decor becomes an act of reclaiming authority over the spiritual atmosphere that shapes your thoughts, relationships, and daily motivation. As you begin to change your surroundings, do it with intention and confidence, knowing that every positive image you choose becomes a declaration of hope and renewal. Invite symbols that represent life, growth, faith, and purpose, so that every room reflects the future you are building rather than the darkness you are leaving behind. Notice how your emotions shift when your walls reflect peace and your environment begins to feel lighter, safer, and more aligned with your spiritual goals. This process is not about perfection, but about awareness and the willingness to create a space where your mind can rest and your spirit can grow stronger each day. You are the guardian of your home, and you have the authority to decide which messages remain visible and which influences must be removed for your well-being. Let your home become a sanctuary filled with images that remind you daily that light always has the final word. Some of the most overlooked objects in a home are gifts or inherited items that carry deep emotional history from previous owners and seasons of life that you may not fully understand. You may keep certain belongings out of respect, loyalty, or sentimental value without ever asking how they affect the atmosphere or the peace inside your living space. An X-witch perspective reminds us that not every object carries positive intention, because some items are connected to past pain manipulation or spiritual practices that leave an unseen imprint. Have you ever noticed how certain items make you feel uneasy, heavy, or emotionally drained, even when you cannot explain the reason behind those feelings? Your spirit often senses what your mind tries to ignore, and then learning to listen to that quiet inner voice becomes a powerful step towards spiritual awareness and protection. Today is your opportunity to examine what you have allowed into your home and decide whether those items truly reflect the peace and clarity you desire. Many people struggle with guilt when considering letting go of inherited or gifted belongings because they fear they are dishonoring the person connected to the object. Yet your personal well-being and spiritual health should never be sacrificed simply to hold on to something that brings discomfort, confusion, or emotional heaviness into your environment. Honoring someone does not require carrying every physical reminder, especially when those items no longer align with the direction your life is moving toward today. The speaker can encourage listeners to understand that releasing objects does not erase memories or relationships, but rather allows space for healing and emotional freedom. When you give yourself permission to choose peace over obligation, you break invisible chains that may have quietly shaped your thoughts and atmosphere for years. Let your decisions be guided by wisdom and by the deep desire to create a home that nurtures growth, stability, and spiritual strength for everyone inside it. As you begin to sort through these belongings, approach the process with prayer, reflection, and honest self-awareness, so that each choice comes from a place of clarity rather than fear. Notice how your body reacts when you hold certain items, because your emotions often reveal hidden connections that deserve careful attention and thoughtful consideration. If an object brings heaviness, anxiety, or confusion, consider releasing it with gratitude for the lesson it taught, while firmly choosing a future filled with peace and purpose. You are not responsible for carrying the spiritual or emotional weight of previous generations when that weight interferes with the freedom and clarity you deserve today. Every item you keep should contribute to an atmosphere where joy rests and spiritual confidence can grow naturally without resistance or hidden tension. Choose wisely and allow your home to become a place where only peace, clarity, and genuine spiritual freedom are welcome. As this confession comes to an end, remember that your home is more than walls and furniture, because it reflects the spiritual atmosphere you choose to allow into your daily life. You have the authority to remove every object that carries confusion, darkness, or emotional weight that no longer belongs to your present season. Freedom begins when awareness turns into action, and when you decide that peace, clarity, and spiritual strength will define every corner of your environment. Let your choices be guided by wisdom, courage, and a deep desire to live surrounded by light rather than silent reminders of the past. When you clear your space, you also clear your mind and create room for renewal, growth, and a stronger connection with truth and purpose. Walk forward today, knowing that every step you take towards spiritual freedom transforms your home into a sanctuary filled with peace and lasting hope.